Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Titans, Season 2, Episode 11, EL Space O. yes, I guess someone's playing Hangman. I don't know exactly what was going on there. Let me get a little business out of the way first. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. You can hit the little like button and the subscribe button down there as well. If you're still on the fence about joining up at the very end of this video, there's going to be a video that pops up here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match as best as possible to one video in my vast video library just for you right up here. Up here is going to be the first episode of The Mandalorian, is what's going to be up there. There we go. I also have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, and I have a Patreon, but I don't have any tiers set up as of yet. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. You get a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Other than that, you can actually go to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at my schedule. It's up there. I change it out every week. I also mirror that over my Facebook page, and there's a Facebook group page as well where you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves. So let's get started, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the shit out of the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the new paddle. Thanks. All right. Do we have a Fenobi sighting? Interesting. All right. So we end up having, we open up with Gar getting brain surgery over at Cadmus, and he's alternating between laughing and then he's reliving Rachel's training room outburst, where she had the goo, the black goo coming out with the razors and all that kind of stuff. And he's talking to her as, what he was saying before when he saw all that. So they end up stimulating Gar's aggression center and he kind of growls. We get the tiger growl, and Mercy's like, that's it right there, is what she says. Yeah. Uh Dick is in solitary confinement there, and when Hallucina Bruce comes up, and Dick is sick with a fever, is what's going on. He's a little bit on the hot side, is what's going on. So Bruce says, Hallucina Bruce says it's always good to lay on the cold floor, and Dick's like, that's why I always lock the door whenever I had a cold. And Bruce is telling Dick that his mistake was going to Adeline's, and also what the hell was up with Adeline saying, she doesn't want to talk to him, but hey, go and talk to Slade in the next room. What was that all about? He says, you need to start focusing on this kind of shit. And he says there's something there about Jericho. And we don't know exactly what's going on there. Well, we kind of do, because is Dick infected? Dick was infected, yes. Might have been bitten by a rat. Dick might have been bitten by a rat, which is always painful. Raven at a funeral. We see her at a funeral in a cemetery, and she sees it's for Dick. Dick has been buried, and Dick shows up next to her. And when she grabs onto his wrist, she starts getting flashes of this place. And then he tells her to don't give up. And then Deathstroke rams a sword through his chest and kills Dick. She screams, wakes up, and then tries calling Dick, but Dick's voicemail is full. Yeah. So Donna is again in the ruins of Titan's Tower. Obviously, she hasn't left since the last time she showed up, and she gets a call from Rachel, but it's all kind of garbled, and all we hear is Elko's Diner is what we hear, and it's really just kind of all messed up, and Rachel's telling her to come and get her. So Donna tries calling Dick again with no luck. Again, his voicemail is full. So yeah, Dick. Everyone's trying to talk to Dick, but Dick's not answering because, of course, Dick is in prison. It's always bad when Dick is in prison. So, yeah. Corey, in the meantime, is trying to get home. We see her trying to activate the ship that she's on, and uh, it turns out she's really just drunk and sitting in an arcade game and has been sitting there for an hour. Some little snarky kid tells her, she needs to needs to take a look at her life and what she's been doing. And before Corey can make an awful retort, she ends up puking in the trash can. Yeah. So somewhere in Wyoming, Dawn is driving and she ends up, she's got a box full of Hank's shit with her sitting next to her, and she's going to San Francisco. And she starts listening to the radio and she's going through the dial and she hears an ad for Elko's Diner. Again, this is the second time we've heard about Elko's Diner. And um she ends up, finally just getting pissed off enough for she's looking at Hank's box. She stops off at the side of this gas station and she throws Hank's box into a dumpster. And she gets back in the car and she starts thinking about it. It's like, no, she's gonna leave. She's not gonna leave. She is gonna leave. She's not gonna leave. And finally, she goes back and picks out a picture out of the box and leaves. Yeah. Rachel ends up getting a tarot reading from her new friend Danny, and Danny's just basically telling her about her past, her present, and her future. And her future looks kind of bleak that she needs to make a sacrifice or she's going to suffer a great loss, one of the two. And one of the girls comes in, Ariel, and tells Danny that her dad is dead. And Danny doesn't care because the bastard used to beat her up so much that she used to piss blood, as she puts it. And she hoped he died screaming, is what she says. So Rachel ends up going to buy a bus ticket out of town, and the digital board behind her actually flips a little bit and says Elko because she doesn't know where she wants to go, and she decides to go to Elko. That is where Elko, Nevada. And this is also in the vision that she saw, with Dick, they at the cemetery and all that stuff. So yeah, she's having visions of Dick, obviously. Corey ends up making out with some guy, and he's like, he goes, "I'm a psychologist. I just want to tell you that you're kind of exhibiting some manic behavior and being very impulsive." And he goes, "If you want, we could talk a little bit." And you know, uh, they're kissing and everything. And finally, she's just like, "Fuck it," stops. She turns off the music, and then tells him in generalities of what's going on with her and that she's stuck there with no hope, no family, and no destiny, as she puts it. And he offers to help her talk through it, of course, and she kicks him out. And on his way out, he leaves his card, of course, because of what's going on. Her TV in this, I guess it's in Vegas, is where she's at, starts flickering, of course, and we get an ad for Elko's Diner. And it's this old white dude who is saying that they have the best jelly donuts. And, if you're feeling down, a jelly donut will pick you up. Come on over to Elko's, kind of thing. And she's got a hankering for donuts now at this point. So who doesn't get a hankering for jelly donuts? And she decides she's going to go to Elko's. So seeing this with the TVs and the radio and all that kind of stuff going off, my first thing was that I was thinking of is a character that's in the animated Teen Titans show. And I can't remember what his name is. He uses a remote control in order to. He's a villain, and that was the first thing I was thinking of too as this was happening. Not Granny Goodness. He's a fat like nerd, and he used a lot of TV shows and stuff like that, and I can't remember what his name is now. So eventually, it'll come to me probably after I'm done here with the podcast. But hey, why not? So we end up having Dawn, here's Rachel over the car radio telling her to come find her at Elko's, of course, and there's radio static and all that. And then her check engine light comes on. And she's like, "What the fuck?" So yeah. Uh, Dick, of course, is back in his cell again with Hallucina Bruce. And Hallucina Bruce is talking about Jericho. And he says, "You know what? We're running out of time. And it's time to get out of here. And the pity party's over." And Dick gets mad at him, of course, and flips his bed and starts throwing shit around the cell. And that's when one of the guards comes in and he beats the shit out of that guard. And Hallucina Bruce says, "Now's the time to go. Let's get going." And Dick tells him to fuck off, and more guards come in and just beat the shit out of Dick like he owes them money. Yeah, they just start beating on Dick. Um, Rose, in the meantime, wakes up with Jason there. It looks like they're in a tropical place. We don't know exactly where they are at first, and then she mentions that they busted 3 drug rings the night before and then broke into the place that they're at to stay and eat their food. And, she says, "Well, why did" Jason takes a selfie of both of them. She says, "Don't post that online," is what she tells him. And, she says, "You don't know me. I could be a serial killer for all you know." And Jason, she goes, "Why'd you bring me back here anyway to your hometown?" He goes, "It's Gotham that they're at." She goes, "Why don't you take me to Wayne Manor where you're from?" And he goes, "I'm not about Wayne Manor." So all this time, I'm still of the a mindset that Rose is fucking playing Jason at this point. So who knows at this point what's going on? And he says Wayne Manor is not who he is, and she wants him to show her who he really is at this point, because that's what's gonna happen. Rachel ends up having a nightmare about Dick being killed by Deathstroke again, and she can't do anything about it. She tries literally comically running in place, but stuck, and Deathstroke kills Dick again. And she wakes up on the bus screaming, and she says, "I want to get off here." And she ends up outside of Elko's diner. So Corey ends up, she's already at Elko's diner and she wants jelly donuts, but the woman behind the counter only has some really nasty pie with flies in it or some cake with some flies in it. And Corey's pissed off at this point and goes, "Look, I've had a really fucking bad day. I want some donuts. You better find some flour, some eggs back there, see what you can do." And she's hitting this bell, and her fire powers, of course, melt the bell. And the woman behind the counter is like, "Donuts coming right up. I'm going to get those for you." Rachel ends up walking in at that point in time, followed by Dawn coming through the back door. And then Donna comes in right after them. And they're all like, "What the fuck? Why are we all here?" And Donna's like, "Well, you called me and told me to come here." So she tells Rachel. And Rachel's like, "I didn't say anything. I didn't call you." And just then, Bruce Wayne walks in. At least we think it's Bruce Wayne. So, because it's played by Ian Glenn, who is the worst Bruce Wayne ever with the English or Scottish accent or whatever the hell he's got going on, that accent that he had there, which was not, you know, yeah. Anyway, so Bruce ends up sitting down with all of them and asks where Dick or Gar is, and of course they don't know. And Bruce apologizes to them for living in the aftermath of the lie that has torn them apart, as he puts it. This writing is some of the worst fucking writing I have seen out of Akiva Goldsman, to tell you the truth. I thought it was Akiva Goldsman at first, but it had more than 2 syllables per word in some of the words. So I knew it wasn't him. Anyway, let me get back to this here. So, yeah, he says he's sorry about them living the lie that tore them apart. He says they are family of choice and asks them to come back together because if they don't protect each other, who will? Then he gets up, grabs a donut because now there's fucking jelly donuts sitting there in a stack, all nice and neat. He gets in his sports car outside and drives away. And they say the same thing I did. Was that just Bruce Wayne who came in, gave us, a pep talk, doesn't decide to help us at all, and then drove away? And Corey's like, "Fuck him," kind of thing. Yeah, it was the same question that I had too. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just really stupid. It really is. So just then the TV crackles on, and we get word that Dick had helped 2 guys escape Kane prison. Now they know, what's happening. And Donna says exactly what we've all been saying as we're watching this episode. You got to be fucking kidding me. Because quite honestly, what the fuck is going on in this episode? Is it, is it a villain that's actually fucking with them? Is it actually Bruce Wayne? Why is the TV popping on at just that point in time to show them? I mean, it's not resolved. None of this is resolved, by the way. We don't get any answers to any of that. It just a lot of coincidences that yeah, Dick did help 2 guys. Hmm. Yes. He helped them get out. Uh, of the closet. I mean, he helped them escape from the prison. Um, So, Donna walks out and Rachel's like, "Where the hell are you going?" And Donna's like, "I'm going back to San Francisco." And Rachel goes, "You know, we need to save Dick." Her words, by the way. They need to save Dick. And Donna says, "You know, Dick put himself up on the cross and he's going to need to take himself down off of it." And Don agrees with her at this point. And as they're walking away, Rachel tells them that she's having dreams again. And she's having dreams about Dick. And Rachel's having dreams about Dick dying at the hands of Deathstroke. She sees him at the funeral and Deathstroke killing him. And Dick needs Rachel's help, is what she says, and she needs their help. And Donna goes, "You know, yeah, no, Guard needs us more." And Dawn is going to go with Donna and she tells Rachel, "You know, when you're done here with whatever you need to do, come find us." She literally says that. "When you're done here with whatever you need to do, come find us." And I'm like, really? That's some shit you tell somebody that you really don't know and you don't really care about. Like, when you get your shit together and you're done, come and find us. Then that's when you can come and find us then at that point. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's pretty cold blooded. So Dawn ends up taking off with Donna, and Rachel turns to Corey and goes, expect you're gonna leave too. And Corey's like, no, let's go fucking get Dick. And she walks off, and Rachel's like, all right, let's go get some Dick. I mean, let's go get Dick. And we see Dick in his cell, and he's calling for Bruce, and a raven appears outside his window. That's a tap, tap, tapping outside his chamber door. And Dick yells at it and then curls up in a ball on the floor. Yeah. Uh, so Jason ends up bringing Rose to a theater at a school. And she's like, "What? This is your old school?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "My dad died." He goes, "My mom was an addict." And he goes, "I went through juvie, a couple different foster homes. I escaped a lot. I got a bad rep." And he goes, "So I ended up living here in the rafters." He goes, "I was on the streets for a while, and then I ended up living in the rafters of this theater, watching the theater kids and all that kind of crap." So then he complains, I mean, literally whines that every time he tries to get close to her, she pushes him away. And he says that every second he spends with her is a new lease on life. I shit you not. He actually whined this. And then they kiss because, that's what happens. I swear I should have had something harder when I was to drink. So Dick's fever is finally broken. And it's because he was lying on the floor like Bruce told him to do earlier. And Bruce ends up getting Dick to think about what was weird about the last meeting with Slade, is what he says. Yeah. And he keeps trying to get him to think about it. And then they end up fighting. Bruce and Hallucina Bruce and Dick end up fighting. And Dick is losing. He's getting his ass handed to him. And Bruce tells him, it's time to grow up. He goes, "You're no longer Robin. You're stronger, you're faster, like a bird of prey," is what he tells him. Then, Dick ends up beating him. He ends up beating Hallucina Bruce because, of course, and we see him in his cell, which is very spacious for a solitary confinement cell. It looks like a goddamn studio apartment, really. And he's doing kata, essentially. He's just sitting there fighting with himself. And then he ends up seeing this bank of TV screens, which are all his memories of things that are going on. He sees Slade the last time he saw Slade, and Slade doesn't have control of his hand. His hand is doing something weird and pointing. And he realizes something, that Jericho's still alive, and that is inside Slade and fighting for control at this point. Yeah. So Rose ends up seeing Donna's text on Jason's phone and deletes it. Dun, dun, dun. And then she calls up Daddy. She calls up Slade and says, I don't know what game you're playing with the Titans, but I'm out. is what she says. And he goes, "Oh, really? You're out?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm out," and hangs up the phone. So, yes, she has been working with daddy all this time to fuck with the Titans. So all that stuff that was being left around in Titan's Tower was her. I was right about that. Finally, we got some resolve to that dilemma that was going on. Slade, of course, doesn't like this. Daddy doesn't like any of that that's going on, and he ends up breaking his drink. But obviously, he's still fighting for control with Jericho, I believe, at this point. So Rachel and Corey end up breaking into Bane prison, and Corey's powers are glitching a little bit. She goes to use them to blow out Dick's door um, to his cell, and it doesn't work the first time because that's a little weird thing. And even Rachel goes, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm okay." And then she uses her fire ability and knocks down the door. Doesn't tell him to stand back or anything because that door goes flying inward, off the hinges, by the way. And they find an empty cell with only the words "Jericho is alive" scratched into the wall. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. So we see Gar in Titan's Tower, and Rachel comes in and it's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I was at Cadmus. They did some brain surgery on me." And then we see he's actually still in Cadmus. It's just what he's seeing is Titan's Tower, and he's really in Cadmus. And Mercy has a lab tech in with him. He is in his hospital gown still, and she's in her little lab coat to show that she's a lab tech. And Mercy is walking her through some things, and some violin music starts playing, and Gar ends up snarling and turns into a tiger and attacks Rachel. He thinks it's Rachel at this point. And he tears apart the lab tech as a lab tech is banging on the window asking Mercy to fucking help her. And Mercy just watches her die. She actually gets her hand bitten off. And yeah, it's some pretty brutal stuff. They actually show some pretty brutal stuff on that one. I was surprised they actually spent some money on the budget for that one. And that's how we leave off this episode of Blossom. Um, yeah, we finally got a little bit of Beast Boy. I forgot Jason was actually still in this until this episode, to tell you the truth. And I'm fucking tired of Dick whining, to tell you the truth. I need for this arc that Dick is on to fucking end. It should have ended like 4 episodes ago so that we could get on with some more storylines. Because quite honestly, this is fucking boring. Yes, there is no chemistry with Minka Kelly. Not like between her so Dawn and Hank actually have some chemistry. They work well together. But Brendan Thwait and Minka Kelly, Robin and well, Nightwing now, and Dawn had zero chemistry. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you, Joe. There was a lot of focus on Dick in this episode and in this season, quite honestly. I'm really tired of them focusing on Dick. They need to focus on something other than Dick at this point. Because not a lot of us like Dick. Some people do, but I'm not one of the people that like Dick. So yeah. I hope Hank binge won't be too hard the next time he shows up. I don't know. I think one of the episodes is called Faux Hawk. That's what it's called. Actually, I think the next episode is called Faux Hawk. Yeah. Penn says, "Put the dick away. No one sees needs to see more of it." Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, what's gonna happen with this? He's gonna turn to Nightwing in the last episode. We already know this. It's what it's building up to. It's just been boring. I mean, we had potential. That Superboy episode was so good, and then they backslid again into the spinning of wheels, dragging this shit out, and they're going into the CW realm of bullshit. I mean, this writing was bad. I mean, just out and out bad. You could tell that this was somebody's like Harlequin romance fantasy novel that they wanted to write bad. And I mean, not as bad as Ian Glenn playing Bruce Wayne or whatever that facsimile is supposed to be, but yeah, it was bad. Anyway, um, no, actually going back to Bruce Wayne, uh, that whole thing, the whole diner, Elko's Diner, what the fuck was that about? We don't get any closure about it. Was that actually Bruce Wayne that came in? Was it some kind of hallucination since we've been having a lot of hallucinations with people lately? What's up with them getting these messages from, over the radio, TV, cell phones, things of that nature? And who in the hell is Elko? The old guy that was on the TV that was doing the ads. Is this another villain that we have? Are they actually being sent on a wild goose chase to get them all together? I don't know because they didn't answer it and they're not going to because we're still going to be focused on Dick. And yeah, uh, I want this show to be better, quite honestly. I really do. Like I said, with the Superboy episode was golden. And I just wanted that to spin off, but now Superboy's they literally put him in stasis. So we don't see Superboy. He's in the Cadmus lab someplace, put in a freezer is where he's at. Just so we can get more dick, which is what we want. Pen Farm Girl says, I still can't believe DC sent the email last week announcing jail dick. Jailhouse dick, yeah. The jailhouse dick one was pretty funny. Joe says they wish they had Harley Quinn. I need some Joker beating on some Titans with a crowbar. Yeah, Superboy and Crypto are awesome, but we're not gonna get any more of that, unfortunately. Ugh, yeah. So disappointing. So disappointing. Where do I stand on this episode? The weirdness factor was okay, but again, we didn't answer any of the questions to the weirdness factor. I give it a 5 out of 10 on this one. The writing was just really fucking awful. I actually wrote down word for word some of those lines. That's what I was reading, off of my notes to you guys. And that writing is fucking god awful. It was like a Harlequin romance novel. I expected to see Fabio on the front cover of that thing. Ugh. So we only have 2 more episodes left, 12 and 13. We get to see Ravager in her costume, or Rose in the Ravager costume next episode. That's what I saw when I was looking at they had the image on the next for the next issue or the next episode. And then the final episode, of course, is called Nightwing. Yeah. No Arrow this week. Yeah, that's okay. No one really cares, Joe. I don't think anyone's watching that stuff anyway anymore. I'm sorry. They probably are. There's at least 4 or 5 people that are watching it. Uh, yeah. Nah, I don't know. I haven't even kept up with it now, Joe. I stopped. I really did. There's just too much CW for me. I can't take it anymore. And there's just so much other stuff that's on right now. And also the Man in the High Castle started again. That dropped last night as well. So I watched 3 episodes of that and they're literally an hour long each. No commercials whatsoever. 1 hour long of the Man in the High Castle and I was like, wow, it's the final season too of the Man in the High Castle. So some good stuff right now on there. Speaking of good stuff, episode 13, when that happens, when I do the breakdown of that, the recap and the review, when you guys leave comments on that one, you're gonna be in the running for this beautiful Titans poster. That's right, from Comic-Con. So one lucky winner will get the Titans poster, and everyone else will get nothing and like it. And basically, all the rules is you need to be living in the continental United States when you send that out, and send me your fucking address, your mailing address, so I can mail it out to you if I call your name. and you're gonna have 48 hours in order to call me, to give me that address. Otherwise, it goes to the runner up. Is what happens. Yeah. I need some Venture Brothers. Yeah, you got another year and a half wait there, Joe. Yeah. The BCR movement has me intrigued. Yeah, Joe, I agree with you, Joker. That's some good stuff. um, Trying to think what else is out there. Um, well, we got the Harley Quinn, animated Harley Quinn that's coming up after Titans here. Actually, on the 29th, it drops. The first episode does. I believe they're doing episode by episode drops on that one. And then Stargirl is supposed to come out in January of 2020. And that's will be the next DC Universe thing that comes up. I don't know how much longer DC Universe is actually going to live. I'm pretty sure that HBO Max is going to absorb it at some point. I don't know for sure though. Yeah. Oh, and Titans got word that they were renewed for season 3. So there you go. Titans has been renewed for a season 3 already. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed about the assassination. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Joe. I was wondering the same thing. I actually thought Carrie Tucker Carrie, I can never pronounce his name. I thought he died in real life for a second. I had to actually look it up because I couldn't remember. Luckily, he hasn't. I guess there was just maybe some scheduling conflicts or something like that. So yeah. Yes, he has been in a lot of shit. A lot of shit. One of my favorites, Showdown in Little Tokyo, with Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee. He plays the bad guy in that one. Uh, yeah. What's that, Joe? The clown or the Joker? Is that what you're doing? Anyway, I digress. We're talking about Titans, and we're talking about too much dick in Titans. That's what's going on. Too much dick in Titans, and Hallucina Bruce is better than real Bruce, I guess. At this point, who knows? Both of them could have been Hallucina Bruce for all we knew. Yeah, and you're welcome, but you'll be calling him Hallucina Bruce too, because quite honestly, it's better than just calling him Bruce Wayne. Because fuck that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little too much there, Joe. With that said, if you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're still on the fence about joining up, you're gonna see at the very end of this video, there's gonna be a video that pops up here. Basically, what YouTube does, it takes the algorithm of all the stuff that you have been watching and plucks a video in my vast video library that matches up with that stuff as much as possible. Up here is going to be a video of the first Mandalorian episode. That's where that's going to be. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. If you've already hit the bell, don't hit it again. It will unclick the bell. You can go into the bell settings and get as many or as little notifications as you want. It's still a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you because that's the kind of bastards that they are. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you can also take a look at my schedule. It's up on suspendedfanimation.com, or you can go to my Facebook page, which has that same schedule up there as well. I also have a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram. I have a Patreon page. There will be tiers at the end of this year, beginning of next year on Patreon. So there we go. Yeah, you didn't say cat there, Joe. So yeah. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the evening. Tomorrow, Saturday morning at blast off is going to be Saturday afternoon blast off, starting at 12:30, thanks to Comic Con. So that's where I'm going with that. Until then, thank you, everybody. Thank you for those of you joining me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. and hopefully I get that damn ticket tomorrow because sure, why not? I'm gonna be paying a bunch of money out this month from what it looks like at this point. So thank you, everybody. I will see you for tomorrow for Saturday afternoon blast off. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may wind up in a prison cell hallucinating with a bad impersonation of Alfred. It might be, or he's saying he's Bruce Wayne, but most likely it's just Alfred fucking with Dick. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.